It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com. Well,
at the beginning of the show, we like to mention some helpful resources to our ohana there in Lahaina, Maui. So a couple things. If you are planning on visiting the island of Maui, go for it. They need your visitor dollars. 80% of the economy is from the tourism. This comes from the visitor dollar. So please go visit.
Go spend your money.
Go spend your money. Yes. And second thing is that I would say the best resources that the nonprofits need is money.
Money.
Because somebody will put a TikTok on a request for toothpaste and they get 5 pallets of toothpaste. And then they need diapers, and then they get 5 pallets of diapers. So if you just give the nonprofits the money in real time, they'll be buying the resources they need as they come up. And
unfortunately, there are some scammers out there.
Yeah.
So we've taken the liberty on our website. You can go to teamlally.com/Maui Strong.
Yeah.
And we have vetted all of these resources. They're all reputable places that you can donate money to.
And for the victims themselves, please get registered with FEMA. We have actually interviewed on our previous shows and know some good friends that are part of the vendor program that FEMA has contracted with to get people into long-term rental housing there on Maui. They provide the money, they sign the leases.
So they'll pay the rent for up to between 12 to 18 months.
Yep.
They're the ones that are on the lease, and they just make sure that you are in kind of like a like-kind house. So if you're like a family of 5, they want to try and get you in like a similar kind of home that you have been displaced from.
So what we need is property owners. I know if the visitors are kind of getting scared off and you've got a vacation rental or a long-term place that's empty, please go to our website. You're going to fill out a form on the Lima Charlie website, Lima Charlie, and they're going to reach out to you and get you guys on the housing list so that we can get these people in. They'll pay the rent. And then when FEMA's money kicks in, they'll actually follow up with FEMA for that.
Yes.
So property owners, you don't have to worry about that.
And for those vacation renters that, or the rentals that they're using a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
We understand the long-term rental rate is going to be different. However, there are some exceptions. So the Lima Charlie company, does have some leeway to make, some additions as far as what that monthly rental should be.
So we're the only real estate show that's been on air continuously for
over 11 years.
Over 11 years. People have come and gone, but we've been doing this for 11 years, and we felt that it was our obligation to our community to make sure that we are providing, clear and helpful ways for the Maui people. Just go to our website, teamlally.com/Maui Strong. Speaking of someone that's Oahu strong on property management, who's that, Adrienne?
That would be Duke Kimhan of HiPacific Property Management.
Hey, Duke.
Yay, go Team Lally. Go Maui.
Yeah.
Awesome. So today I want to just talk about background checks and how important they are. I just talked to another property manager who's been in business a long time, and they're asking me what background check company I use.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked. And I said, do you guys do background checks? And they go, well, we kind of do them because we do a background check on the internet to see what kind of credit and all that criminal history comes up and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, with the internet as good as it is right now, but that's really broad, right? Just using the internet to Google somebody's name and do a background check that way. But, because we have a eviction guarantee, which states that if we put a tenant in your property and we have to evict them, then we're going to pay for the eviction. With that said, as careful as we are, to date this year, we have 2.
Wow.
One in process right now, and one we completed in June. So, both of those cases probably ran about $6,000, which is good because our attorney knows exactly what to do when we have to evict somebody.
Yeah.
But, the problem is that if you get into that situation with a tenant, you're already 2 or 3 months behind. You're not getting any rent for that time.
Yeah.
Even if I'm paying for your eviction, you haven't collected any rent. So
Duke, does the judge provide some kind of like a judgment against the tenant with the past rents owed? How does that work?
So they put a judgment against them that for our company, and then we have to go to a collection company to try and collect it. Yeah. But I will tell you, in 15 years of doing this, we have not collected 1 cent.
Yeah,
it's so hard to get collections after the fact. So 1, get a good tenant in there. 2, don't go through eviction. And 3, you just have to make sure your processes are key when you're going to kick somebody out.
Well, your guys' goal is, get them out quickly. That's what you guys.
We've kicked them out plenty of times, and we got security deposit and all that stuff. So, all the cases that we've just let people go because they owe a little bit of rent and they're willing to move out and not go to court because they don't have a collection against them.
Yeah.
Because that's going to show on their report for 10 years.
Yeah, and you guys don't want to get one anyway because it's not worth the paper it's written on.
So that's
correct.
So that's a win-win that you like try and negotiate with that tenant rather than having to go to court. Like it just sounds like it's a nightmare.
Just do a good job in the beginning, correct?
Yes,
and you won't have to go through all this.
And you said it right there, Duke. Do a good job in the beginning. You guys aren't just Googling people's name. If you Google my name, you would think I was the fire chief of the Honolulu Fire Department. No, that's my dad. You would think I own a beach in Italy. It's actually, there's a beach there. We went. It's called the Attilio Pleasure Beach. But I don't own that beach either. So that's what you would get if you Googled my name.
That's funny.
But so you guys use a professional service.
Yeah, and we make sure we verify the income too.
Yeah.
So we do all the income checks. If the people's income is a little low and not 2 to 2.5 times of the rent, we make them show us their bank account. Let me see how much savings you got. And you could have a 750 credit, but your income could be $2,500, and you're renting a $1,200 or $1,800 place, and you have $150,000 in the bank. Okay, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So
Duke, that's rare.
So Duke, you mentioned that just this year you've had 2 of these evictions. Now, previous years, I think it's been like far and few between, and you guys manage well over 1,000 properties. What do you think's happening this year versus previous years? What's the difference?
2, I don't even think 2 is like even worth nothing. It was just like the luck. Yeah, just 2 out of hundreds.
Almost over 1,000.
We've never, in all the years, 15 years of doing this, we've never had a military eviction.
Oh, wow.
And this year we had our first one.
Yeah, because explain to people why that's such a low probability of having to do a military eviction.
Well, the best part is they get BAH, base housing allowance. The second thing is we get commanding officer contact information. So we'll immediately go to that. The third thing is the military makes all military entrants sign a degree of they have to address, right? So they have to perform a certain way in life. And a code of conduct, that's what they have to sign. In the code of conduct, it states that if you are living off a base, you are required to pay your rent on time. Required. Under the military code of conduct.
Oh, wow.
So not only are they subject to the civilian ramifications, but the UCMJ, the military penalties. So it's like a double whammy for them not to be paying their rent, especially when the government gives them BAH. Specifically for that reason, right?
We are very happy to accommodate military personnel. Very happy.
Yeah.
In fact, I would choose them just as a normal state of looking at the degree of success we've had with the military. I would choose them over any other type of job.
Yeah.
They have a higher accountability.
Lower probability of defaulting on the rents.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the tip of the week today. Background checks with HiPacific is a winner.
Yeah, Duke is so thorough. Even if he had daughters, he would do background checks on all the boyfriends.
That's right.
Thanks, if they're living in the house, we will.
Yeah. Need to see some ID.
That's right.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Duke.
Bye-bye.
Right. That's Duke Kimhan of HiPacific Property Management. If you go to our website, teamlally.com, you can find them under the resource tab and experts we trust.
And by the way, we, he does come on the show and give some great advice, but I will tell you it's spot on. I have 2 investment properties that I completely 100% trust Duke and his team with. In fact, fridge went out on a studio unit that I own near the university. I think I've had the thing for, a couple of years now, so it's expected. Mm-hmm. I think the fridge is from 1998. I think it's avocado colored, has deep blue ice trays with the metal dividers. No. But anyway, I said, you know what, it's broke. Replace it. They're like taking care of it. It'll come out of my reserves. No fuss, no muss. The tenant's happy. I'm happy, and it was like I literally just took care of it via email.
So easy.
That was it.
So give Duke and his team a call for the easy button.
Easy button for property management.
So I just want to make mention of a recent review that we got. This one is from Dejana. She says, the best. Team Lally supported us through our military move. Monica took us to places that met our requirements and helped us negotiate through the closing process once we made our offer. We got the home we wanted, and thanks to her advice and hard work. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hey, folks, don't you listen? If you're avid listeners to the show, we've had people say, I listen to the show all the time. I'm thinking about selling my home. That's one way to check us out. Another way to check us out is what Adrienne just read, which is what?
Reviews. So
reviews.
Yeah, go to Google. We've got I think we're approaching the 500 mark.
Yeah.
We're quickly approaching that.
Yeah. So close to 500 happy interactions with people that were above and beyond satisfied.
And I mean, there's a couple of ones that were not satisfied, like what the Cosmic Bunny.
She didn't with the hiring process. She
didn't like the hiring process.
Our hiring process was terrible, but she didn't use the word terrible. But it's a family show. And speaking of which, other announcements that we have, we've got a 10K for upgrades. Mm-hmm. Property prep. What's that about?
So we will front $10,000 up front just to help you get your home ready for the market to maximize that return on investment. It's probably would cover painting, landscaping, cleaning.
But we're gonna need payments of $1,000 a month until the home's sold, right?
No, we get reimbursed once the home closes.
We're going to charge an interest rate of 48%.
Nope. It's
no interest.
Yep. We're going to front it and we'll get reimbursed.
10 to you, 10 comes back to us.
We're also having a career night coming up. I believe it's October 10th. It's that second Monday.
Just go to our website to double check RSVP.
Go to HawaiiCareerNight.com.
Yeah.
And you can get all the information on that. So
yeah, I do want to mention during COVID that the real estate industry was considered an essential business. Mm-hmm. So we were able to continue to do business during a world pandemic. So that might be some kind of benefit you're looking for in a job or in a career field. Yep. And nothing better than helping people with the biggest financial decision of their life. So
go to HawaiiCareerNight.com, get signed up. It's happening in October.
Yeah.
And it's in the evening. I think that we changed the time to make it easier for people to get to, 6 to 7. And it's going to be at our Keller Williams office in Kapolei.
Just go to the website for all the details. The other thing I want to mention, too, is let's say you're in a home, you've been in it for a long time, maybe haven't been taking care of it, or it needs some upgrades, or things are still original. Mm-hmm. We can actually get you cash for that home within, how many days?
I think as quickly as 12, but let's give a little extra, maybe 14. We'll say 14 days we can get you cash.
Yeah, we're going to have your home. We're gonna remodel the home, and we're gonna split the profits on the back end with you when we sell it for more.
That's right.
Who wouldn't want to do that? So if you're a seller, it sounds like this might be you, and you just need that. You need this type of partnership in getting your home sold. We have that capability of doing that right now.
That's right, and maximizing your return.
Yeah, help you make more money.
and not having to deal with the project management. Like it's kind of it's a hassle and a stress when you're doing all those remodelings.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
So
we'll take care of it.
If you're a seller in that situation, anywhere, we'll be able to come to you with a written offer on that. And if it's something that makes sense for you, go for it. And if it doesn't,
that's okay too.
Go for it.
Maybe go for the 10K for upgrades program.
10K for upgrades, because maybe you'll make more money. You don't necessarily need to do a remodel. I'll tell you right now in this market, and you know what? I do want to read the stats. I read the stats for July last weekend, but I want to read them again because I forgot my real estate instructor. He said repetition lends emphasis. Single family homes, days on market up 60%. What does that mean?
Homes are staying on the market much longer than they were last year.
So folks, you need a full service real estate company to get your home sold. We are well beyond the stick a sign in the front yard, do an open house, get 5 offers on Monday.
No,
that is not the market we're in. The facts prove it. Days on market up 60% for single family homes, up 44% for condos. Median sale price, here's another indicator. Single family homes down 4.4% year over year in price, and condos up only about 0.5%, but that's pretty much would be considered flat. Closed sales, are homes still selling? Yeah, they are. Down about 24.9% from a year ago. Condos down 19%.
So 25% less homes are selling.
So, and you would think that the prices would be continue to go up with less inventory, but the higher interest rates, there's just all kind of factors that are coming into place to navigate the sale of a home. Give us a call. We don't charge you anything for the consultation. We're here to advise, not put you in a headlock and make you sign anything. Last stat, new listings, single family homes down 28%. So almost 30% less homes are being listed this year compared to last. Condos down 19.5%. So less condos coming up on the market. Now we have our own favorite awesome realtor from the island of
Maui. We've got Randy with the Maui updates.
Hi, Randy.
Aloha, everybody. Aloha from the beautiful island of Maui.
Yes, and it is a beautiful island, and we keep talking about people need to go visit. Yes. 80% of the economy is on our visitor dollars. Please go to Maui and visit. That is one of the best ways that you can help support our town of Lahaina there on Maui. So what you got for us, Randy?
Well, I just want to update everybody. There's so many news outlets out there, providing different information on what's happening on the island. And yes, we are rebuilding. We're going to rebuild stronger, better. And Maui and Lahaina town will survive all of this because it is a community of family, a community of resilient people. And as we say in Hawaii, we're all cousins. So if you love your cousins, we're all going to take care of one another, aren't we?
That's right.
Yeah, our favorite terms of endearment is auntie and uncle.
Yeah.
And that's when you know you're not one kid anymore, when the kids refer to you as auntie or uncle. But if they call you grandma or grandpa, you slap them.
Not too yet. No, we're not there yet.
No. So
but, I'm just so full that we have a community that is unbelievably supportive.
Yeah.
I moved to Maui 27 years ago from Los Angeles, and when I moved to Maui, I had no idea if I would be able to live on an island. But, within that first year of living there, I realized the community, they just talk to you right away.
Yeah.
And you cannot help but feel that from the moment you step off a plane and go to the island, you feel a certain sense of calmness and a nurturing feeling, which is why I call Maui Mama Maui, because she takes care of you. She will nurture you. And that's what we're doing now. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned that, but you look at the Maui from bird's eye view, and it looks like your auntie, and all you got to do is add one tittabun, because it does look like your auntie's profile.
It does.
Yeah.
And I have this. My friend sent me this image of a beautiful Hawaiian lady with a flower in her hair and like caressing the island, and it just immediately made me think of Mama Maui, like this beautiful female Lahaina just holding the island like it's her baby.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the shape of the island, it does have a shape of a
person,
of a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. The head and the lower part is the body, and this picture I'm going to actually put on my Facebook. So if you go to my Facebook page, Randy Antonio, you're going to see my new profile will be Mama Maui.
Yes.
And just remember, love your mama.
And so you longtime Maui resident, you local already. When you pass 19 years, you local.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, give us the authentic message. Are your people there are wanting the visitors to come?
Well, I think you're going to find different groups of people experiencing and expressing different emotions at this time. I mean, I think it's been 3 weeks since the fires started. So there's still very high emotions at very different levels of different communities. But I think overall, we realize, the whole island is based on tourism. Yeah. And that is the driving force that will keep us thriving. So everybody needs to work on the island. We need to move on, push forward. So I think that overall consensus that we do need to move forward is important.
Yeah. Because.
And then, Randy, are people still buying and selling real estate on Maui?
Yeah.
Actually, yes. I mean, in the last couple of weeks, I've had several past residents want to come back and reinvest on the island.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting thing. We see other people also that are, they feel like Maui is such a special place in their hearts, and we're still seeing a big demand and a desire for people to own property there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in just West Maui area, but, just different parts of the island. So I think demand is still there, and people are still interested in purchasing. Selling, I think, on the other side is, people are still holding on to the properties, which is why we have such a low supply.
Yeah.
But, so that's what's keeping the prices still at above average from last year. We're still above maybe about, on the single-family homes, our market is actually a little bit down, like 1% from last year to date.
That's negligible.
The prices for homes.
Yeah.
Whereas the condos is about 10% up from last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good...
There's a huge... Yeah.
We got to counteract the general media, because the general media likes to dramatize things and really sometimes overemphasize the negative aspect of it. But,
exactly.
Real estate's going well on Maui. We still are discouraging anybody looking in the Lahaina area, because those people need a minute. They just need a minute to recuperate, and I think as we do this show, the perished victims are still being identified. So it's still kind of a fresh wound emotionally for everybody. Yeah. So come to Maui, but don't go to Lahaina.
Correct.
The local people and the state organizations, federal organizations are trying to get it all cleaned up. So the best thing we can do for them is stay out of that area.
Yes, correct.
But come and visit all the other areas.
And spend your money.
Come spend your money.
Kihei and, all the other parts of the island are open. Paia Town, Hana, Kula. There's a lot of beautiful spots all over the island for sure. And while West Maui is rebuilding, we definitely want to see visitors come back. I've had several clients who were traveling and are coming back to the island, and they're saying the planes are fairly empty right now.
Yeah.
But that's expected until, and a lot of people, like you said, are hearing all these different news. So until they hear it from a local as to what's happening at the ground level, people still think we can't go to Maui at all. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case at all. You can still visit for sure. And there's accommodations, especially on the south side.
Yeah.
But if you were originally planning to go to the west, we do have accommodations available.
I think people have a misperception we're like a third world country. No, hello, folks. We're part of the United States. We are a first world state in a first world country, and so we have everything's in there and been covered and supported. It's a normal life for everybody outside of that area. But mentally everybody's united in supporting. So come out, enjoy. The best way that we can spread aloha is to come enjoy some aloha in Maui. and support our local economy there. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Randy, for calling and checking in with us and giving the Maui report.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Anytime. I hope to be there next week.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Aloha, and thank you for all you do.
Thanks,
you, Randy.
Okay. Aloha. Bye-bye.
All right. Next up, another hot topic is what's going on with interest rates.
And the mortgages. The mortgage world. Yes.
And so who do we have, Adrienne?
We have Jodie Tanga, the mortgage genius, with her tip of the week from Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Hey, Jodie, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. I was just wanted to share on some interesting statistics, and on a good note.
Yes.
Today was like the first day in a while, I think 5 weeks, that rates improved.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the beginning of last week we were at like an all-time high, and then they were just kind of steadily increasing since June. And then today we saw some improvement. We're able to take advantage of those with our buyers that are in escrow. So on the other hand, I did read an interesting statistic, which is that home prices are up, although the number of sales are down.
Yes, we were just talking about that in the beginning of our show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're like right on track with what people are seeing and experiencing.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Confusing.
It is confusing. And I think that at the end of the day, if you're financially stable and the goal is to purchase in Hawaii, that we feel strongly that the home prices are going to go up. So what you could get today, it's going to be more expensive 6 months from now or a year from now.
Yeah.
And that's at the current market rate. So when everyone gets back on the bandwagon of buying property when rates go down, that's going to get even harder to purchase.
Yeah. More competitive. More people are going to jump back in the market, and multiple offers, here we come, right?
Right. So I think that with some of our buyers that we're talking to regularly, and I know you guys, is they're like, should we wait? The rate is high. And I just keep telling them, if you know that this was a goal and you are in a financially stable situation, we planned for this, you have the money needed for your down payment, and you're going to be comfortable with the monthly, or not necessarily like comfortable, cushy, but like I can definitely do this, then it's only going to get better when you refinance into that lower rate. So now you're already in on the property. You're already protecting yourself from rents going up if you had not purchased, and you're already in an asset that is going to continue to grow, and you will be able to put yourself in a position that you can save money monthly once rates do drop and you're able to refinance.
Yeah.
And, it's funny, Jodie, because that's exactly what I had done when I purchased the home that I live in. I think the rates were like in the mid to high sixes, and I knew I was going to stay in the home, so I bought down the rate a little bit so that the monthly payment was doable. It wasn't comfortable, but it was doable. And then when those rates started dropping, I'm like, okay, like this dropped at least a percentage from what I have. It's time to do a refinance.
I bought my house in 2007, 6% interest rate, and then refinanced, I don't know, a couple of years later, 3.25.
Yeah, I think I did like 2 or 3 iterations of refinances, because it was like, it went from, down to 4 and then 3 and then down to 2. But you can, you can refinance if it makes sense, if you're going to be staying in that home. And I know Jodie and her team are really good about looking at, does it make sense as far as like what your plan is and how long do you plan to stay in that home?
Crunch the numbers.
Crunch those numbers.
I just had a conversation with a buyer. She's in escrow. She received one of our federally mandated disclosures that we have to provide, which is called the anti-steering disclosure form. And it basically says, okay, this is the rate we locked you in at, and this is a rate that you could get, which is lower, but you'd have to pay X dollars more, right? So it's not like a common sense type form, and it's a little bit confusing. So she called a little bit disturbed, like, well, this is saying you could have given me a 5.75. Why didn't you offer me a 5.75, you know? And so I said, well, you know, do you see that other spot where it says, you know, points? Yeah. You know, she said, yes. I said, so you're going to have to pay $15,000 more out of pocket if you want the 5.75. And she was like, well, I still might want the 5.75. And then we kind of compared the monthly payment, and it was going to save her $200 a month, but it was going to cost her $15,000. So her time it was going to take to recuperate that $15,000 was more than 5 years. So I told her that based on all of the economic data right now, no one has a crystal ball, and I cannot guarantee it to you, but based on all the economic data, everyone believes that rates are going to drop in the next 12 to 18 months. Yeah. So I said, if I give you, you know, right now you're locked in at a 6.25. If I call you 12 months from now and say that you can get into a 5.5, are you going to refinance? You know, and she goes, yes. I said, okay, but then that means you would have paid $15,000, of which you've only recuperated like 200 times 12, so 2,400 of the 15,000. Yeah. And she was like, I don't want to do that, you know. And so then I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I'm explaining. Like, we don't want people spending too much in points right now, because there is such a high likelihood that you are going to refinance and you are going to be able to lower your monthly payment because rates will go down. Yeah.
So I love how Jodie just breaks it all down, just, you know, so it makes sense. I mean, that form sounds like it can be, you know, quite confusing. And, you know, you take the goals and priorities of the clients, and, you know, does it make sense to be spending that money?
Exactly.
If Jodie was a mortgage sponsor for Match.com, she would tell you, date the interest rate, but marry the home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jodie, for that excellent tip of the week and that example. I'm sure that it resonates with many of our listeners.
People, I could hear it through the headsets. People were like, "Oh, now I understand."
Thank you, Jodie.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, so that was Jodie Tanga, the mortgage genius with Pac-Rim Mortgage. Check her out. She's on our website under the resource tab and experts we trust. So we are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Jonny Zahaby of Hawaii Attorney LLC. We're going to talk about the legal services that they provide to local families and small businesses as a virtual and mobile law firm.
So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Hawaii, I would hire Adrienne and Attilio Leonardi. Their marketing strategy is so effective that if your home doesn't sell on terms you agree to, Team Lally will buy it. Partner with the team I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Hello, Hawaii. It's Colin Coward. Things may have changed in the sports world, but the games must go on. Look, I invest in real estate all over America, and right now with the ultra-low interest rates everywhere, if you're serious about selling your home, you need to talk to my friends Adrienne and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally, real estate group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Team Lally's incredible marketing with 3D tours and its huge database of buyers has continued to sell homes quickly with multiple offers over the asking price. Adrienne and Attilio continue to spend tens of thousands per month on marketing to attract hundreds of buyers every month using a unique app that communicates daily with over 3 million luxury home buyers around the United States. Adrienne and Attilio guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it themselves. Give Adrienne and Attilio a call at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com. And start packing.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or We'll Buy It. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, let's see here. We've got our guest today is a published author and founder of Hawaii Attorney LLC, and he moved to Honolulu from Kauai in 1994 and has practiced law in Hawaii for over 23 years.
He took up an Associate of Arts in Psychology over in Kauai Community College and a bachelor's degree at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Graduated from William S. Richardson School of Law at UH Manoa with a doctorate degree in business law. Please welcome our guest, Jonny Zahaby.
Hello, Adrienne and Attilio. How are you guys?
Good.
Great. Thank you for being our guest, and welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to Benji, one of our team members, who has had a very long-standing friendship and relationship with you, which is how we, had come in contact with you in regards to some real estate challenges and ideas. So we wanted to put your information out to all of our listeners here.
Did you move? Did you move over after Hurricane Eniki?
Yes. Yes.
It was like 92, wasn't it?
Yes.
You're still fixing the place up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It was quite an experience, but I think, it really brought the community together at that time.
Yeah.
And everyone was pitching in to help each other out.
Yeah.
So that was an amazing part of it.
Yeah. I see what happened because my sister was on Kauai at the time, so I see what was happening back then happening now in Maui.
Maui, yeah.
So Hawaii people know how to come together and support. Good.
Exactly. It's very familiar.
Yeah. Alrighty. So the we had cross paths because we had a property we're looking at to
do a CPR
subdivision.
or a subdivision, and you are just so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And know the ins and outs of both of those processes. And we know that this is something that you're not taking any new clients on, but we did want to share some of your knowledge about both of these types of division of land with our listeners.
Yeah,
sure. I am I'm helping existing clients. I'm doing about 4 projects now.
Yeah,
a couple on Kauai and 2 on North Shore here. But it can be an arduous process. So,
yeah, and I think that a lot of times people, it's well, first of all, it's the CPR condominium property regime. People, the lay people hear the word condominium and they think of high rises and stuff, but there can be single family homes that are condominiums. And then
I think Jonny, you had mentioned doing it with a boat dock, even.
Boat dock, yeah.
Yeah, you really only need some kind of way to describe it. And it can be a condominium can be a box of air. So we've done boat docks, we've done warehouse units that are virtually just boxes of air.
Yeah.
Condominium law really kind of started in Florida, and it was carried over to here, and we were starting with horizontal property regimes, and then we kind of got permission through legislation and changes to the regulations throughout the years to kind of do different things with condominiums, especially when you leave the realm of the high-rise apartment building and you're and you're getting into just separating parcels of land into separate condominium units.
Yeah. Now, one of the things too, I know in our discussions you mentioned that, it's people have this misconception like, oh yeah, I'm just going to buy this big property and then CPR it, sell off lots and make more money, or build homes on there. But talk about the role of
a whole big process
of becoming a developer, because now you're dependent on an architect and a surveyor, having their expertise in their lane, but then you as the owner, you got to collaborate and coordinate all of this, and it's tougher than people think.
Oh, it is. I mean, when you submit the document asking permission from the real estate branch here to sell units in a condominium property regime, it's called the developer's public report. And they're calling you a developer for a reason, because the people listed on that public report are the developers, usually the owners, right? So I think a lot of owners think that they can hire the three main professionals, the attorney, the surveyor, and the architect, and that the three of those professionals are going to get together and kind of develop the property for you.
Yeah.
But the role of developer is actually a pretty substantial role in the whole process, because unless you want to run up attorney's fees and other professional fees, you got to do a lot of legwork on your own as the owner. And, I can tell you right away that the first survey is not going to come out correct. Yeah. The first as-built drawings aren't going to come out correct. There's going to be errors and things that need to be fixed. And even when the whole package gets put together, we're referring to the condominium map and the as-built and elevations and certifications. All of that is referred to as the condo map. And of course, on the real estate branch side, they hire other attorneys as consultants to review your professional's work.
Yeah.
So, when you have experience in condominiums and you're hired as consultant by the state, you want to make sure that you're finding errors in there or things that don't really jive with the way you draft documents. Might not even be a real mistake in the documents. It's just not drafted in your style.
Yeah.
So there's a long process going back and forth with the real estate branch consultant as well, the attorney that drafted your documents, and they make changes. And so you really are developing property, and it should be viewed that way, I think.
Yeah, I think the common statement from the professionals involved in this at the end of it is, well, there went a year of my life I'm not getting back.
Which is why I know, John, you are pretty selective with how you spend your time and how much time you spend on this type of work, even though you have done hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And you're quite the expert yourself on CPRs and subdivisions.
I think you got to the point where you run 100 marathons and you're like, I'm done. No more marathons for me.
Not to be really negative on the process. I mean, it does have a lot of benefits, and for a developer or a family that owns property that's not really productive, it can make the family money.
Yeah.
So, but the buyers also on that side need to be aware of what they're buying too. They're not purchasing a duly subdivided parcel of land. You're joining a partnership with other landowners on the same parcel. So I think I've mentioned a condominium is really a glorified co-tenancy agreement.
Yeah.
So it's just
the thing that we learned, and this is for you sellers out there who have big vacant land or big, or just
big parcels of land.
Or big parcels of land that you want to subdivide or CPR, and then you hire a real estate team who works on it for years, and you're like, just communicate to the buyers all the potential of what this property can be. And they think that the realtor is going to wave their magic wand and sell some kind of story to potential buyers on what this property can be because they want the now price.
Or they want the price that would be like after all of this work is done because of the potential. And
for you vacant people selling land, you know what? I'm gonna give you a hard time because your agent isn't giving. I'm gonna, on your behalf of your agent who's been too nice and haven't given you a hard time. Stop expecting your agent to step into your shoes as a developer and or explain it to potential buyers what the property can be when this thing, I mean, we've got an expert on the show right now telling you it's tough.
Yep. It's a tough process.
I mean,
there's a probability it won't go through.
I mean, we've all been in this business a while.
Yeah.
So we can't say that there aren't glory days too.
Yes.
There are glory days where CPR, for instance, like a spatial unit CPR, which is just boxes of air.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in deals on Kauai where you did a spatial unit CPR for a family. They sold off a parcel for more than half of, not a parcel, sorry, a unit for more than half of what the total value of the property was. The family got a
big win,
good chunk of change. Yeah. And then the people that purchased the property were really amicable and everybody got along and everybody lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Right. But, there's the other side of the coin too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, what Agent Friday said in the FBI? He said, there are many stories in the Windy City.
Yes.
So there are many CPR stories, some good, some bad. And but for Adrienne and I, our first time research and having lengthy conversations on this, it's like,
it's a lot.
There is a lot easier ways.
A lot of moving parts.
A lot easier ways to do real estate than trying to do a CPR. Not that it's impossible, but I think what the message that we're trying to send to people is that we need to manage your expectations.
And work with
you ain't going to watch no late night infomercial. Hey, buy a vacant property and subdivide it and make a ton of money. And you can be on this boat with all these ladies in bikinis. And I came to this country. And no, that late night infomercial stuff doesn't work in the real world. And we know because we've been doing this for 20 years.
So I know we've got about 6 minutes left in our show. And I wanted to touch on another. I mean, you are well versed in many types of law, being in this business over 23 years and many types of real estate law.
Yeah.
One of the things that's like a hot topic is the interest rates.
Seller financing.
So, we start to see more seller financing, agreements of sales, like all sorts of creative things that come into the marketplace when the interest rates rise. Let's talk to our listeners about that and some, maybe some tips that you have.
Yeah, what's been your first-hand experience with that, John?
So if you go deep, you dig deep into the history of the Bureau of Conveyances or Land Court, you'll find agreements of sale, right? It used to be something that we did a lot in Hawaii. And that kind of reemerges every time interest rates go up, is that there's a lot more seller financing, which is basically an installment contract that's a big buzzword now across like estate planners, business attorneys, and it's because you can get tax benefits from it. The people that are offering the installment contracts, such as agreements of sale or even placing a mortgage on a property that they sold, they can collect an interest from the buyer. So they've kind of done two things. They've not only sold their property, but they've created an investment for themselves that may pay more than you can get in like a high paying mutual fund or whatever. Right. So if you can charge 7% on an agreement of sale and you're selling $1 million property, and they put maybe $200,000-$300,000 as a down payment, which is kind of something they're going to give up the down payment if they don't pay, and then they're going to pay those interest payments. And it's good if the seller, a lot of times sellers might be elderly people, and they might sell income to a family member, and they've got a little investment there that pays them interest, and it's also interest write-off for the buyer. So,
you've done quite a few of this, like internally for different family sales, is what I'm hearing.
Right. And just educating families on how we need to follow the rules. Like, a lot of the family members making the seller financing or offering the seller financing might be trustees of a trust. So that brings in a whole new bunch of requirements, because as a trustee of a trust, you've got fiduciary duties to the beneficiaries. So you can't just be running around giving sweetheart deals, So, your loan or your seller financing has to look reasonable.
Yeah, at market. So, you can't be, here's a beachfront property in Kahala, $100,000, 1% interest.
No.
Right.
It's got to be what fair market value, right? I think is what we had talked about. Fair market value. Yep.
At that point, I may ask, did you file a gift tax return?
Yeah.
You gifted them something,
That's the proverbial son who called his mom every Mother's Day. He was a good boy. He called every Mother's Day.
Exactly. So, but it can be beneficial, and when you can offer some kind of a mortgage and maybe a second mortgage even that's willing to subordinate under another commercial mortgage. That might be helpful for somebody just starting out, because we have such high property values here that it's hard for young people to get their foot in the door.
Well,
Jonny, we are very sad, but the show has come to an end.
And we're leaving them wanting more, because they're going to get a hold of you, Jonny, for this stuff. And
you can go to hawaiitrustattorney.net to find out more about Jonny Zahaby, or just go to teamlally.com and we'll have the show uploaded there.
Thanks, Jonny.
Thank you for calling in.
Okay. Thank you. See you guys.
Alrighty, aloha. All right, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jodie and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley with Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Kyle with Impact Wealth Solutions.
Robinson with Fine Line Paint Works.
Chastity with American Floor and Home.
Jake with Skyda Construction Roofing and Solar.
Ryan with Zero Res Hawaii.
Amphi with Estate Planning Group.
Jeff with The Loan Depot.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
Yee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price in our time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha.
The woman's got a story to tell.